Okay, so hi everyone, welcome to this great session. I'm so humbled by the number of people who are attending this class, and this class is going to be an overview of Python, and it's a free masterclass, and I'll do a short demo and a more detailed version of the same we will do in the live classes. Okay. I'll focus more on why Python and how do you get started. Okay. And then we will talk about why you should get into Python, what's machine learning, what's AI, and so on. Let me just walk you through. All right. So the session is going to be approximately of 2 hours. Right now it's 8:07. So we will talk till 10:07. We will take a 10 minutes break at around 9 o'clock. Except for myself, everyone is on mute. So please use the Q&A window and chat to ask questions. The recordings and slides will be shared after the session. And I would still want everybody to focus here, ask questions, get involved, and so on. Okay. All right. Sachin, you have anything to say right now, or shall I move ahead?
Yeah, just start recording over the cloud. So
okay, it's recording, right?
So
huh?
Isn't say so. I thought okay.
It's live streaming. Okay.
It's not recording.
Stop live stream. I'm not able to see the icon to record it.
Yeah, can you just make me co-host so I can start?
Okay. Okay. Sorry for the administration glitches. Okay. Okay.
Okay, we are good to go.
Good to go. Perfect. Awesome. So before we start, there are a couple of questions. Sachin, you want to take them, ask those questions? There are some questions from people.
Yeah, so real single. So real single says that Python is important or not. So
let me answer. Okay. So of course, Python is important, and yeah. So Sachin, the way we are going to do is you ask the question from the Q&A window, and I'll answer. Right? Yeah,
sure.
Okay. So yes, Python is important, and I'm going to give you a very good reason why Python is important. Okay. And the session is more about motivation. Yeah. Any other questions, Sachin?
Yeah, so Manish Malviya says that he have a 17-year experience in service industry and not much coding knowledge, currently working as a program manager. How can he proceed with the career in data science and AI, ML related fields, I guess?
So see, honestly speaking, my honest recommendation will be that you get started with programming, okay, coding. It is a bit hard in the beginning. It takes a bit of effort, but once you get going, you'll be able to do many things. I'm going to talk about many things. So there has been a lot of in industry for last till now in industry, it has been going on that you don't need coding, you don't need this, you don't need that. But the reality is that maybe in your work, you may not need coding, but in your career, more evident now that the coding will be needed because there are so many tools, there are so many libraries, so much AI, so much machine learning, and everybody's job is being impacted with it. So it's important for everyone to learn how to control the machine, control the AI, And to do that, or to utilize the computers and machine learning, you would need to code. Okay. So like, for example, when for the first time, let's say somebody learned how to tame a horse to pull the cart or to use other things. So people had to learn how to ride a horse. People had to learn how to drive a cart. And that became like an essential skill. So that time for riding the horse or driving the cart of AI is now. It is now. And therefore, to learn how to maneuver it, control it, tame it, you got to learn coding, because that's how you control the machine. All right. So
So yeah, like this is how it is. Like nowadays, like everyone is moving to AI. Like the recent example I got to know from my parents, like they were watching news, and news anchor is like basically an AI generated uh, robotic image. So
yeah,
it was like things like when people like who are not from tech background, they are also starting feeling like, oh, this is how AI looks like.
correct, correct.
So Piyush Jain said that Piyush Jain is asking that web development is possible with Python or not. So
Oh, okay. You want to take that up?
Piyush, web development is completely possible. So Python do have multiple frameworks. Like at CloudxLab, we are using Django as for backend, right? So complete web development is possible through the Python only. So not only through the Python, basically you need a markup language. Basically, you need HTML for the front end part, HTML and CSS to render things. But yes, the whole almost all the web development part can be done using the Python, right? And we are doing that at CloudxLab. Like it's a live example.
Yeah. Out of all the web development frameworks, probably Python and Node.js is the most, you know, most developed, maybe Ruby on Rails. Similarly, like Django, we call it Django, Django, right? So Django framework is one. Then to create like microservices, small web servers, you can do that using Flask and other things. If you are on CloudxLab, there are quite a few projects which talk about how do you build web surveys, how do you build web application in Python. And even though I had been working in past in Java and other languages, after I reviewed the web development framework of Python, which is Django, I basically realized that this is way more advanced than any other thing. Good, very good question.
So I would like to take Piyush's next question first. Like he asked another question. So he said he's asking that which languages and framework need for full stack development. So full stack development, like it's all up to you. Basically, as I said, that there are Django and Class and other frameworks also. So you can use that. Like Django is the most mature one, as Sandeep said. So you can use that as a framework. And in terms of language, in the programming language, you can do with the Python. Other than that, for the markup, basically you need HTML and CSS for the front end part. So using that, you can do all of the things. But yes, to make it more flexible, you can use some front end framework also, which are present nowadays.
Yeah.
So you can explore that. And if you would go on the Python packages list, if you would go the PyPI, you will see that there are a number of things available only for Python also. It is not like Python can be used only for the data science. It can be used for the development.
Correct. Perfect. Very good starting and very good set of questions. And thank you, Yasmin, for that answer. And Guru's question is, which language is best for app development? Good question. So I'm not sure, like, I think there is one framework in Python using which you can do the app development, mobile app development, but I have not used it. So probably for app development, Sachin, you are aware of a good app development framework?
For web development, I'm not really sure. Basically, I'm not really sure about in what context Guru is asking. So if you are talking about the app development,
No,
then you can
no,
obviously.
he's asking about the app development, like mobile app development.
Yeah, so mobile app basically Kotlin is hot nowadays. If you are talking about the Android, so you can use that. And other than that, in case of iOS, they are like completely different things. So they'll still work on the Swift and all, right?
Yeah.
So in case of mobile development, but yes, React has come with really good things. Like you can build an app and you can use it on multiple platforms. Like React Native, you can use for the mobile apps, right? So I think if you are starting with the mobile apps, then React Native is have I think the easiest learning curve among all, and it will be beneficial for everything, like even for web development, for mobile development, or for multiple mobile platforms also. So that can be a great start. Learning React Native.
Right. The other important part to know is that in app development, there are like, let's say, I was with Amazon earlier, and the mobile app of the Amazon is like one part of it that is what I owned, the one where you do the buy now, that's called product detail page. So I was, heading that part, and there on that page, earlier we built something called native application. In native means that for Android we have to code separately, and for iPhone we have to code separately. So there was basically the native version, but then we realized that we don't need native. Instead, it is like a small iframe or browser window. We call that web view inside your mobile app, and in there there is basically a website that is displaying. So as of today, Amazon's app, most of it is essentially web application, and that's a better way to do it. There are many frameworks like PhoneGap and Cordova and other things which basically bridge that gap, and so you continuously focus on building your software as a web application, or we call that responsive web application or mobile web application. And then once it is working well on a mobile browser, you take that URL, put it inside the web view. Now you have the mobile app. And there's the easiest way to develop an app. That way you can build lots of things with minimum development cost. So again, so you develop mobile app like a web application. Okay. And that's probably the easiest thing. But in some of the cases where you need lots of graphics and other things, the web application inside the web view may not work well. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, there are lots and lots of questions. Okay.
Yeah, so many people are asking like, do they need like period coding knowledge to attend this session? So I don't think so. Like it will be completely like how your first step would be like how to learn how to start with Python, or how to start with coding. Like if you are not from non-tech background, so how to start with the tech and all. So the session would be around that, and we will show you like how we do basic things in Python. So you will be comfortable with those things. Like okay, this is, then you will feel that, oh, this is very easy. We can do that. So the session is very beginner friendly, so you can attend that.
Right. Okay. All right, there are quite a few questions. Okay. Yeah. So Kushag, yes, we will start from start beginner. Question from Harsha is, need to know how to develop web app using only Python, convert offline Python script to web app. Yes. You just take a look at Django and you will get an answer. Python can replace SQL for cleaning exploration? Not really. So question is, will Python replace SQL? No, both have different purposes, right? So like, for example, when you have to clean up your data, or you have to process or analyze your data, and the data is in a structured format, that is a tabular format, then SQL is way more easy. And you usually, what you do is you call the SQL from your Python code, And that's how it makes it so easy. And you don't need to worry about that, because it is better to learn both SQL as well as Python. Both are different skills and both are complementary skills, and both will be used consecutively or concurrently. Okay. A question is, I learned coding started using Bash and Linux. I use org grep SCD for data wrangling. Now I am on board using Python. Perfect. Yes. Okay. Average package starting in this field. Question from Piyush is average package starting in this field. There are lots of different sources of this information. So I would suggest that take a look at the general job. Average package in software industry is higher than almost everything across the globe. Okay. Now, the important part is that when somebody asks me, like, how do I get into the software industry, right? And the simple answer is learn one programming language, and Python could be that starting, right? I so well remember in my graduation, during my graduation, like first year, my BTech, I wanted to learn, I wanted to learn computers. I did not know where to start. So I went to some people, they started teaching me Windows. Somebody started teaching me some random softwares. And then one of my college senior, he told me very clearly that all of these other knowledge of this package, that software, is not worth your time. Just learn one programming language and move ahead. And that was the best advice I got. Okay. That was the best advice I got. And I never looked back from there. After I learned programming, I was able to learn almost every other thing very quickly. But if I did not learn programming and I had learned some UI things and this and that, probably I wouldn't be able to do many other things that I can do now. Okay. So my suggestion is that this talk today is more focused about how do you accelerate career using with Python. Or in other words, if you learn Python, it will accelerate your career. That's the main idea. And yes, average package in software industry is very high. You can take a look at the indeed.com. There are many other software websites where you can find it. Okay. All right. Is Python helpful for someone who wants to explore the cloud architect path? Of course, yes. With Python, why Python is more popular nowadays? So it takes some time for a language to be accepted across the globe, right? And like the language which is easier, which is handy, that becomes more and more popular. With Python being very easy to read and easy to code, and many people adopted it, and now most of the things are available in Python. I'll talk about this more as we go ahead. It's a good question. When working on AI project, which language is better, Python or JavaScript? My answer is that most of the time it will be Python. JavaScript is great when you want to code something for the browser or something for a plugin. But the best part is once you know any programming language, once you can code in any programming language, all other programming languages will be very easy, will take maybe a couple of days for you to get used to. That's all. Okay. So I think with that, we should not debate about where to start. It is undoubtable that starting with Python would be the best thing to do. Okay. What are some applications of machine learning with Raspberry Pi? There are lots of applications. We can talk about that later. I'll not deviate from the topic today. Question from, are the libraries like NumPy, scikit-learn? Yes, all these Python libraries can be accessed in Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi is nothing but a small computer, and it is essentially a Linux computer. You have Python on that, you can start using all the things that are there in Python, and that's it. Okay. memory and CPU could be limitation there. What is the difference among these sites made with different technologies, site using web fundamentals? I mean, like at the end of it, it's all the underlying things, and there's not much of a difference. Okay, not much of a difference from the end user perspective. It's all about how user friendly you make, how scalable you make. Okay. A question from others is site using JSP servlet, site using Django. Yeah. So I think it's all about how how do you make it? So scalability is one criteria on which you judge a website. How many people can access a website? Then how fast can it reply? Then and in these cases, right, the language doesn't matter much. It's the design overall. Okay. All right. Hi, there's a question. Many companies ask knowledge for PySpark instead of Apache Spark. How are they different? They are same thing. Apache Spark and PySpark is the same thing. Apache Spark with Python is called PySpark. Apache Spark with Scala is called Scala Spark. Okay, thank you. Which is the most in demand in the field of AI, deep learning or something? So I think ML, deep learning or something. Question is, which is more in demand? I think what is in demand that we do not understand is it's the coding. Like, for example, these days people are talking about ChatGPT and other things. And there you will see that most of it essentially the basic programming. Like you can just use Python to talk to ChatGPT and other things, and there are all sorts of library. All you need to do is just call it, and that's it. So no matter what is in demand, the coding will always be in demand. Okay, whether machine learning, deep learning, AI, LangChain, this, that, there are hundreds of things going around, and most of these things is pretty simple for anyone who is comfortable with the programming language. Should I make a project that shows my data analysis skills and web skills together, or make separate projects? I'm starting my career after a career break and working as Python intern. Yes, that's a good idea. So question is, should I make a single project which shows your data analysis skills and web skills together, or should I make separate projects? My suggestion will be, if you can figure out a good project that involves both, that will be a killer application. That will also save you time rather than building two projects. You'll focus on one project. That will also, if you basically are able to pull it together, even when you don't get a job, if that software becomes popular and people will start using it, you will not need a job. Okay. All right. I know VHDL coding and experience in coding. Can I switch my? Yeah. I mean, you could switch in Python or in software engineering at any point of time. Okay. And all right, let's start. Let's start the session. There are lots of questions. We'll take those questions later. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for a wonderful set of questions. And yeah. So great. All right. Moving ahead. So about myself, I'm leading AI at a company called DevRev, and I'm a founder of CloudxLab. I love explaining and teaching technology, and I'm a software engineer at heart. And in past, I have worked within Mobi, Amazon, and DE Shaw. And mostly in my career, I have worked on large-scale computing and machine learning. Okay. At CloudxLab, the core vision is to upskill people, as in build careers and improve lives. And so what we have done is we have created this playground where there is a theory or the content on the left-hand side, and the playground is on the right-hand side. And when you work on the playground here and submit an answer, it basically goes and checks whether you have done it right or not. If you have done it right, it'll give you the points. Okay, you can just go and check at CloudxLab. This entire, all of our tutorials are designed in this way. But we are launching a live Python course for AI because we are realizing that those who are starting the career in coding, or they are re-beginning their career in coding, they require a human touch, they require a trainer, they require a discipline. That's why we are starting online live lectures here. So this is the lab that we have on CloudxLab. Anything you can do there, you can just get started and so on. This is a cloud-based lab. It's basically just like how you would do things in industry when you join some company. And it gives you a seamless experience. You know, you don't have to get lost in endless downloading and installations or hardware or permissions and configuration issues. And the data sets are central, and any device anywhere can connect to the cloud. Okay, so here, this is like there's a social angle to it. And we have hiring partners like data scientists, and we have a job portal. Similarly, we have we conduct these placement exams to get you placed. All right. Without further ado, I want to just get started with Python. So Python is a programming language. Okay, simply a programming language, and it's an interpreted high-level language. You don't need to compile it; it just runs. Python was initially developed by Guido van Rossum in 1991. That was the first release, and it's easy to use, and it improves engineers' productivity. Like, for example, if I have to show you, I could just go to, we have already, me open. Okay. Okay, so let me show you. If you go to CloudxLab, after signing up, you can go to My Lab. In the My Lab, you can start Jupyter Notebook. Okay. So here, at the same time, you can also install something called Anaconda. I have installed Anaconda here. Anaconda is basically an Anaconda, right? Anaconda is basically a distribution which packages everything together. You can, if you don't want to use CloudxLab, you can install Anaconda, and Python and everything will be installed. Okay. Now, right? I'm just going to show you very quickly. So here you can, this is Jupyter Notebook. It's an open source thing and everybody can use it. Now I'm just going to show you something called a notebook. So you can just click on New Python Notebook, and I'll also show you the terminal. Okay. So here you can basically write your Python code. Okay. Like, for example, I'm saying X equal to 34, meaning I'm assigning 34 into X, and then I'm printing X. So you can see it has done that job. You can use it like a calculator. Okay, you can use it like calculator. Okay, double asterisk means power, and so on. So what I'm trying to show you is that Python is extremely simple. You don't need to define all kinds of things. You just need to start writing. The other way to use Python is from the terminal. Okay, and like in local also there's a terminal. On this terminal, if you just type Python, okay, it launches Python. This one is an older version of Python, which you can change. And okay, yeah. So we just change the path, and now it's 3. So you can see this is called Python interpreter. Here, if I type a code like 3 plus 4 is 7, right? It just prints 7. And it's like as if I'm chatting with it. Okay. So you can see that I'm sort of chatting with it and responding. Okay. And this is the way I can write all kinds of code. So this is a valid Python code. Okay. So it's an interpreted high-level language. Okay. You can see that we did not have to define the data type. We did not have to compile. We did not have to allocate memory, this, that, all the low-level operations are not there, right? Like if you see low level, right? If you see assembly, right? Okay, assembly language, right? It looks like this. For basic things, it looks like, basic instructions, very simple instructions look like this. Move this from this. This is called low level language. Okay, that's not, Python. That's assembly. And therefore, Python is very high level. You don't have to do too much effort. You can just express your logic in simple code and it works. Now, so essentially, we need to learn the Python language so that we can communicate our instructions in Python to the computer. Okay. Basically, it's translating your thought into something that computer can understand. When you make a mistake, the computer does not think you are cute. It says syntax error. Okay. You must remember that you are intelligent and can learn. The computer is simple, very fast, but it can't learn as much as you can. Even if you can make it learn, like you can make it memorize, you can make it forget, you can do all that, but that's not really the kind of learning that you will get. Okay. Now, question is, why do people use Python? Okay. Number one, software quality. Python emphasizes on readability. Okay. Python code is way, way more readable than any other programming language because it forces you to keep the formatting. Okay. I'll just, go ahead and show you. Imagine that you are writing a simple loop. Okay. Right. Don't worry. It's not too complicated. Okay. So here, just very quickly, don't get scared. It's just too simple. I just want to show you something. I'm saying for I in the range 10, print I. So this thing is going to print I 10 times. Initially, I is, or let me just show you this way. So let's say, I'm just putting a square bracket. I'm saying 1, 2, 4, 6, 7. For I in this, print I. Okay. So it basically assigns 1 to I, assign 2 to I, assign 4 to I, and then print each of them. Right. Now you see here, there is a space here. Okay. There is a space here. This space means that this for loop will execute this instruction that many times. If I say print hi, that won't run on every loop because this is not indented. So this indentation is the most important thing in Python. Okay, this is called indentation. This is space. This is the way loops figure out that where it is ending. But Python figures out where is a loop ending. Okay, if you just put space here, you know what will happen? Hi will be printed every time. Right now, hi was printed only once, but now you see 1 high, 2 high, 4 high, 6 high, and 7 high, right? Every time it's running. Why? Because we put an indentation here. Okay. Now you can compare very clearly. I'm just going to put both of them in front of you. So the indentation makes code readable. And indentation is something that Python forces, right? Just like when you are writing a letter, you leave proper spaces, you also format things like put the date, the space, and so on, right? That makes it readable, correct? That makes it readable, and that's what Python enforces. So Python code is the emphasis in Python code is on readability. Okay, because it is observed in industry that like code is written once and read more than 100 times, maybe 1,000 times. Okay. So second is developer productivity. The same code that you write in Python in one line, it takes a long code in Java. Okay. One line is equal to 5 lines and sometimes 10 lines in other programming languages, right? So code size is 1/3 or 1/5 of Java or C++ code. When you have to type less code, you'll have less code to debug, less code to maintain, as well as you will not have fear of typing. Okay, many people do not like coding because they have to type too much. All right, now portability. If you write the code, Python code on Windows, you can make it run on Linux and Mac because it's an interpreted code. Okay, so you can just copy paste the script and it'll work, or you can just transfer the script or package and it'll run. Support libraries, standard library, there are all sorts of libraries. Okay, you have for web development, mathematical computations, serial port access, drivers, network programming, game development, text applications. Probably out of all the programming languages on the planet, Python probably would be having highest number of packages, highest number of support. Okay, I can guarantee this part. And Python and JavaScript would be two languages that are the most popular. The great part about popular language is that you basically get all kinds of software built by other people easily. Like I remember that I was doing machine learning using Golang. There is a new programming language. So I was doing machine learning using that and we got stuck. We had to revert back to Python in order to get many things done because lots of mathematical packages were not there in that particular language, Go. So we had two choices, right? Either we write our own software in Go to get the work done or just shift to Python. So we shifted our machine learning efforts to Python. Okay. So that's a great part. Okay. Programs developed in Python can be run from Java, .NET, C++ libraries, and like Python can call C++ libraries as well. The Python programming is more of a joy, less of a chore. Okay. Usually when you think of a code, you think of, oh, we'll have to code it, compile it, and run it, and then run it. It'll take a long time. I can just show you. Okay, but they'll just bore you. I can't, like, I'm thinking of showing you this, right? Print hi in Java. It'll take long time. I'll have to write a big code to get it done. Okay, and I'm hesitating to show you because it'll be like 10 lines of code and I'll be wasting next 10 minutes in doing that. Okay, so that's why coding in Python is a joy. Now, is it a scripting language? Yes, it is a general purpose programming language and it's, or some people also call it a scripting language. Okay, you can create object-oriented, all sorts of paradigms are available in Python. Okay, now what all can you do with Python? You can do systems programming, you can do GUI, you can do internet scripting, component integration, and right, let me just put it here. You can also do, let's say, AI, right? In AI, you have many things, okay? You have machine learning, deep learning, NLP, computer vision, right? And you have generative AI, like, for example, you have like uh, OpenAI libraries and let's say stable diffusion, etc. Okay, so you have lots and lots of things in terms of what you can do with Python. You can do game development, you can do images, you can do so many things with Python. Yes. So you can basically do that. So, right. So I have already done a brief demo here. So it's so simple to basically get started in Python. You can code immediately and it just works. Okay. So in Python, as simple as this, x equal to 34. This means we are putting 34 in a variable called x, right? It's not comparison. We are not comparing. If you have to compare two things, what do? You put double equals, right? Okay. Like if I have to compare, let's say 45 equal to 34, it says false. If I say x equal to 34, right? How much is x right now? Let's just take a look. So x is how much? X is 34. So this would be true, correct? But this would be false. Okay, so you can see that single equals is assignment, double equals is comparison. Then print x is basically printing it to the screen. In Jupyter Notebook, you don't need to write print. You can simply say x and enter, shift enter, and then you'll get an output. You can use Python as a calculator. You can make it iterate and do all kinds of things. So you can write for loop, while loop, and you can also define all kinds of variables. You can define an array like this. This is called an array. In Python, we call it a list. Okay, so you can see here. So now x, earlier it was keeping 34 as a value. Now x is containing 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that's the cool part about Python, that it's so easy to code. You can just get started with Python. What I'll recommend is just sign up for CloudxLab. And when you go to my courses, you will see all of these. If you go into any of these subscription courses, all of this comes free with subscription of CloudxLab. Okay. You can just pick, let's say here, I'll just show you. Okay. Wait, not here. Yeah. Let's say foundation of Python. Okay. So in foundation of Python, you have these all, you can just start learning Python here right away. Okay. So if you take a subscription, you will get all of this in the subscription. There are lots of exercises, multiple choice questions, which prepare you, learn better. And you have essentially the lab on the right-hand side, theory on the left-hand side, and you can basically learn the best. And in case you get a question, just type a question here. My team will answer the questions. Okay. All right. Now, yeah, so just like any programming language, you can have if, else, elif, you can do for loops, while loops, you can break and continue, you have all kinds of iterations and so on, right? So that's about Python. You can essentially do virtually anything with this, okay? And when you can do anything, which means that you can do machine learning with it, you can do AI with it, okay? All right. Cool. So shall we take some questions now before we talk about machine learning?
Yeah, I think we can. Also,
Okay.
some questions are on YouTube, so we can take.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So basically, one guy, Abhishek, is asking like, can we build bigger apps like an enterprise application using Django or not? So,
Of course. Of course. Okay. Question is, can I build enterprise application with Django? Yes. And that's way more easier than any other. So Django, which is a Python web development framework, it has something called apps. So you can create like hundreds of modules under it. You can also have, services and everything using Django. So yes, you can definitely do that. Yeah, go ahead. Next question is.
So yeah, not much question on the YouTube.
Okay.
There are general questions like which have been answered earlier also. Like, yeah. So,
Okay. Okay.
so here from the Zoom, you can take like, is Python helpful for a commerce student? Obviously, like, sorry, I would say many of my friends have done like commerce in 12th, and is now someone is CA, someone is analyst, someone is that. So basically, they use Python. They are using SQL also. They are using Python also to analyze multiple things, and basically it helps to analyze data and multiple things, and it makes their work easy. It makes their work easy and fast to do so. Otherwise, in like Excel have their own benefits, and Python and these SQL programming language and libraries like pandas and everything, they have their own benefits, and you can deal with the bigger data using all of these languages and tools. So anyway, this is
My question is, how important is Python for a data scientist? It's the most important language. There was a time when people were happy with R. Of course, you can do most of the things with R, but if you have to deploy something like a web application, it becomes a bit difficult, though there are frameworks in R. So R and Python is something that, data scientists use. Okay. So out of R and Python definitely wins because it has wide variety of components for video processing, sound processing, image processing, and voice synthesis. All kinds of libraries are there. Okay. Is Python overtaking R or both are popular? Python is overtaking R in popularity and number of packages. Does learning AI and ML require a very high level language or of mathematical knowledge? Sorry, does learning AI and ML require a very high level? Not too much. It depends on what you're trying to do. If you're building models, if you're doing innovations in building models, then it would require you to understand underneath science. But if you are using it, then you just need to call those models from your Python code. Okay. Like we were doing this very cool project recently. The project was about, finding a celebrity on IMDb who looks like you. Okay. It's a simple project in Python. Basically, first you download the images from IMDb. Then from those images, you try to find similar faces. And basically, that's a very good part, that you can do. Without any mathematical knowledge, you are able to apply AI and utilize the machine learning models without really getting deep dive into that. Okay. You just need to know basics of, comparison. That's all. Okay. So, the other thing I want to say at this point of time, when programming came in 70s or 60s, in 17 or 60s, people thought that only mathematicians can code. Only people with lots of mathematical knowledge can code. But that's not true. This era, last 20 years have proved that last 30 years have proved people without any mathematical background have been able to build really, really good software. Therefore, mathematics is not a requirement when it comes to getting things done using coding. Okay. And I'm a QA automation. Is this helpful to you? Of course. Just try to look at Selenium API using Python. You'll be amazed that you can do so much of automation with Python like this. Lots of it. Okay. Our question is, do bots like ChatGPT endanger a job for us in the software industry? Not too much. If you are not learning, if you are not getting onboarded, you do not know how to command ChatGPT for your advantage, then yes. So it's not the ChatGPT who is endangering your job. It's the uh, other people, or it's you yourself who is endangering your job by not learning new things. Okay. I know C, C++, Core, Java, Unix. It's easy learning basics of Python. Yeah, you will not have any time. Okay. Just go to, you can just go to CloudxLab, start doing some exercise, and everything will be very quick. Okay. Also, just take a look at probably the main Python tutorial from python.org, and that should be good also. Okay. But anyway, we are launching this course on Python for AI, specifically designed in a way that people should be able to do AI with, by utilizing these other people's models, other people's systems, and also learn Python. Okay. On basics, like it's for everybody, it's for beginners and so on. How would you prompt engineer and other such AI job be good in future? Prompt engineering is a common sense. It doesn't deserve to be called a job per se, but yeah, it's just another ephemeral job. I call it ephemeral job. It's like transient jobs, right? But the real job will always remain is of programming or coding, right? People think that, oh, ChatGPT can code. Not really. It takes 1 minute to generate code from ChatGPT and 10 hours to integrate it into real work. And those 10 hours are valuable. Okay. So coding jobs will remain, trust me on this. Would getting AI skill help make cybersecurity easy for me in terms of what? Of course, of course. If you learn Python and you learn how to use various kinds of models, your job becomes easier. Okay. So out of the entire, entire persona, what I find is learning the basic programming languages, it takes the biggest time of your career. Is there a subscription fee to access notes and exercises? Of course, there is a subscription fee. It's a very nominal subscription fees. We have a lab, we have all sorts of content for you. You can just use it. With respect to the Jupyter is free in terms of if you can download Jupyter from internet and then use it. Okay. This masterclass where it is used. I did not get the question. So this masterclass, we are using it on our CloudxLab. You can also go to CloudxLab, cloudxlab.com and buy the subscription. How much efficient when compared to SaaS? There used to be a software called SAS, and it was only for analytics of certain kind. It is not a generalized system. Okay. How much Python is important to deal with biological data? To what extent BioPython is helpful to bioinformatics? I mean, there are all sorts of packages you will see, whether you are an astronomer or biologist, you will use Python. I can guarantee this part. Okay. All right. What is best for data visualization? Python also is very decent. Okay, there is something called MATLAB. There's something called Matplotlib, which gives you the visualization. A question is, what's better, Python or MATLAB? MATLAB is specific for, MATLAB is only for mathematical tasks, while Python is generalizable language used everywhere. R versus Python, R is a specialized data analytics language, while Python is very generalized language for web development, game development, and all sorts of things. question is, can you give a brief explanation on production model deployment in data science? We'll talk about that today. Okay. Apologies for joining late. I joined 45 minutes late because, okay. Yeah, we are getting recording and you will get the recordings. With Python, will Python help me in aviation kind of job? Of course. Okay. Of course. Trust me on this. As an actuary, will you be using Python? Yes, actuary is nothing but statistics, and there are so many statistical packages in Python that you can use. Okay, starting from pandas, numpy, scikit-learn, scipy, and so on, right? And can we use Python? Yeah, that's right. Okay, see, there are lots of statistical packages in Python, and people have moved on. Okay. All right. Okay, wonderful. Will Python help in geology? Yes. Because I know multiple people and I mentor multiple people who are working in geophysics, civil engineering, and so on. And they're using Python. Okay. And like for that matter, once you know one language, you can move to another languages. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So yes, let's take a break. I will basically increase the font size and say print. Let's take a break for 10 minutes. Back by 9:13 p.m. IST. Okay. All right, so we are about to start in 1 minute. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. All right, I hope you guys liking it. Do you have any, a way to tell me if I'm doing good? Hi, everyone. Are you back? No? Yes. Hey, Soumya Ranjan. How are you doing? I'm allowing you to talk. Please go ahead. You want to say something? Hey, can you hear me? All right. So great, great. Hi, is everyone back? Shall we start? Yes. All right. All right. Okay, let me check. Why is the chat not enabled? Okay. Thank you so much for positive feedback. I am very thrilled about your positive feedback. Let's get started. Okay. Feel free to ask questions. Your questions are the reason of this live talk. And because if you have a question in your mind, the chances are others are also having this same question. So please feel free to ask the questions as and when that comes to your mind. Okay. If I can answer, I'll answer. If I don't know, I'll let you know that I can't answer this. Okay. But that's up to me. Okay. Your questions are not stopping this class. Your questions are the reason or purpose of this class. Okay. So feel free to ask questions. And all right. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Let's just get started. Where is my chat window? Okay. And Q&A window. 3 windows to keep an eye on. Where did it go? There. All right. Okay. Okay. One of the questions from Guru is how Python help in quantum mechanics, quantum space. If you quantum mechanics, quantum space, if you see that, there will be libraries which control various kinds of things in quantum mechanics space. Those libraries will basically help you, those libraries can be controlled using Python or other programming language. Okay. Okay. Perfect. One question from Paulo is that could you please tell me about uses of ML and AI in medicine, namely cancer detection. Okay. So there are lots and lots of models that are working right now. There is the a contest whereby there are models which are being trained on cancer data, right? So you can take a look at the machine learning models in cancer diagnosis. Okay, you'll find lots of articles, lots of models, and you will find that lot of research that is going on, and every day there is a new research, there's a new model. Therefore, I mean, therefore, the best answer is to just search such kind of questions. Okay. All right. What are the uses of one question is, what are the uses of IDs? There are many use cases of ID. One is like, you can see this useful interface called Jupyter Notebook. Similarly, there is something called PyCharm. Okay, it's an IDE using which you can code in Python. But my personal favorite is Visual Studio Code. Okay, this is my personal favorite. So these are the editors, like Notepad helps you typing the code. Similarly, these editors help you in typing the code, saving files, syntax highlighting, and so on. So there are lots of things that can be done with um, with the IDE. It improves your productivity and so on. IDE usually refers to integrated development environment. Okay. All right. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. So good. Now let's get back to where we were. One of the questions that that goes on is, what exactly is machine learning and how it is different from AI? So this course that we are talking about today, this course is about Python for AI. Okay. So what we are going to do as part of this course is that we will learn Python in order to do machine learning, AI, data analytics, and so on. Essentially, you will learn Python by the way of applying Python in various kinds of projects, starting with web development, and also in data analysis, data science, AI, computer vision. So all the projects are going to be in various fields. So it's a single course which talks about, which teaches Python, but it teaches Python by the way of applications of Python in various kinds of frameworks. Okay, so it is I think that's the best way to learn Python. The best way to learn Python is being excited about it, how to do this, how to do that, and then trying to use all kinds of libraries and so on. And that way you will realize that once you know the basic programming, the fundamental coding, you can do anything. Okay, it's not only the Fibonacci series and those standard problems, but there are lots of real things. Okay, so we have already been doing the projects in Python using various frameworks. We are extending that to make it like a holistic course. Okay, and it's going to be live. So essentially, even if you are a beginner, you will learn Python, AI, and other things. So in a single shot, 2.5 months, you will reach to a level where you are better than other people, even very professionals. Okay. And it opens doors to all kinds of areas. Okay. All kinds of domains, even in your own, expertise domain. So I don't miss this. And stay till the end, because we are going to share with you URL to block your seat. Okay, so stay till the end. I'm going to talk about AI and machine learning now. Okay. There's a question from Guru that what is quantum computing and any relation between Python and quantum computing? So see, quantum computing is a way of computation using the properties of electrons and the atoms. Okay. Now, some of the things can be achieved using quantum computing really, really fast, and therefore there will be specialized tasks in future that can be accomplished with quantum computing in a very, very fast manner. For example, cracking the code of something like decryption, encryption, right? Those kind of things would be better done using quantum computing. And like, how would you talk to all of that? Most likely using a programming language like Python, okay? Because it's a specialized programming environment, the quantum computing. For geoprocessing, again, I think the debate about programming languages is actually not that useful uh, if you are just about to start your career, okay? Because if you are planning to build a programming language or planning to start a company or building a large system, then you should debate about programming languages. Otherwise, there's no need to debate. Now, with respect to, I have never heard of NV, NetCF, NetCDF, but I have heard about Python. So yeah, so out of these programming languages, I can say that learning Python will be more useful for your career. And yes, of course, geoprocessing. Moving ahead. All right, let's move on. What is machine learning? Machine learning is a field of study that gives computers the ability to learn without explicitly programmed. What does it mean? It means that we train the machine on the data and then it can take better decisions. Let's understand it with a real example. Have you played Mario? Yeah? Have you guys played Mario? Yes, no? How much time did it take you to learn and win the princess? Can computer also learn the game by itself? The way you learn Mario, can computer also learn it? Let's watch it. So somebody actually hooked a simulator to it and then basically made the computer learn from the simulator, press random keys, and observe what's going on. Now, on the day zero, computer is not able to play it. The Mario is going in random direction and it dies of old age. Okay. Now, after a few more attempts, the computer is observing the screen, pressing keys, and seeing whether the score is going up or down. And then it is starting to learn. Yes, you can see that it is going a little better. It's going a little better. Okay, it's badly stuck, not going anywhere. Moving on, few more weeks and Mario starts to learn. Now, the computer is playing this game better than me. You can see it learned by itself. Nobody told about the gravity. Nobody told about anything other than here is the score on the screen and the computer is keeping an eye on the score and just trying to press all the keys, observing the screen. And that's how it is learning by itself. Isn't that magic? Now, you see that? It has no difficulty in playing it at all. Few more weeks and it's going to be an expert. You can see that now. See that? It's just amazing how fast it is going. Look at it. Wow. The Goomba is jumping on it. It starts moving downwards. You see that? It starts moving downwards. Then, bam. It figured out that there is a bug in Mario game. And the computer started exploiting that bug. This is machine learning. It learned something that humans did not know. See that? It has we have no idea how it's playing those games. Now here's another sign of intelligence. When it's not able to win, it's pausing the game. It's not able to win, it's pausing the game. It's like, in childhood, my cousins used to spoil the game when they could not win against me. Okay? Because if you can't win, just pause the game or spoil the game. So that's what the computer was doing when it could not win the game. All right. Now, This is machine learning from data. A computer learning from data, what possible logic to build. So logic is being built by the computer. That's machine learning. That's machine learning. Now let's go back to the definition. It says, field of study that gives computers the ability to learn without programming. So first half we talked about programming. Now second half we are talking about not programming. Isn't that strange? Yes, it is. But the good part is there are some parts where still it requires a lot of intervention from your side, and therefore you need to code and you need to learn how to use machine learning to figure out complex patterns instead of you writing the code. If the height of this is this, jump to here, then do this, do that. Instead of you coding it, the computer is figuring it out by itself. Now that's the magic. Okay. All right. I hope you guys liked the example. All right. A question is how AI and ML can help in cloud computing. So I think AI and ML coupled with cloud computing can help human life in general. Therefore, they both are interdependent as well as mutually independent. So while on one hand, we can see that cloud computing, like let's say you want to optimize something, you have to observe the data and so on. You can utilize AI and ML for that. Okay. Now, moving ahead. So what we learned just now is what exactly is machine learning. Now, let me ask you, what exactly is AI? What is AI then? When machine learning was machine learning from data by itself, then what is AI? So AI is an objective. Purpose is to build an intelligent machine, right? And AI is essentially this end objective. Okay. Machine learning is one way of achieving that. Okay. So how do you build AI? You build AI using hardware, like such as robotics, IoT, sensors, and so on, right? The other hand, artificial intelligence is built using software. There are two kinds of software. One is coded by human, other where rules are figured out from the data. The one that is coded by human is also called rule-based programming or normal programming. On the other hand, rules inferred from data is called machine learning. In machine learning, there is one field which has taken up the world by storm called deep learning, where we basically design the algorithm on the same way the way brain works, animal brain works, some way, not like exactly this way. Just like neurons and brains function to figure out pattern in the data, similarly, deep learning algorithms build the logic in the same model that there are neurons and there are activations and so on, and they basically learn from data. So machine learning, as well as rule-based programming, as well as hardware, coupled all of these together are used for artificial intelligence. So machine learning is a tool, or machine learning is a technique, while AI is a purpose. Okay. All right. So every industry, like one thing you will see in all these days, every industry is using machine learning. Why? Why are there so many use cases of machine learning? Have you ever wondered that? Why are there so many use cases? There's a use case in geophysics, in civil engineering, economics, in mechanical engineering. There is all like agriculture, every industry is having the use case of it. AI and machine learning. Why? Have you ever wondered why? Like every day you will find a new use case about machine learning in every field. Do you wonder why? Yeah. Anyone? Because, right? Because what does human brain does? Human brain predicts for survival. So if you think about it carefully, the purpose of the brain in general is to ensure survival by the way of predicting what action to take. Like, for example, we try to predict which leg to move forward, which angle we should stand such that we don't fall. Similarly, if somebody is attacking us, where to run, which direction, everything. So the brain is designed to predict the next action for survival, right? Similarly, brain, basically, the human brain has been trying to figure out similar tools that can predict, right? That's what human brain is doing. So if you think that all the automation, every industry is designed for predicting something, right? Like, for example, manufacturing industry is trying to predict which products to manufacture, which process optimizations to be done, what price of product to be capped, and so on, right? So it's all about predicting, learning from data and predicting next step. That's what brain does. Agriculture industry is trying to predict which crops to grow, what's the prices of produce, what process to follow. Healthcare industry is trying to predict the disease based on symptoms, which drugs are effective, how can a pandemic be stopped, and so on. All right. So that's basically what brain does. And that's what we are building the machines for, to predict the next step, predict predict for something. We're given an objective, predict the outcome, right? So if you think about it, so every industry is trying to predict. Now, moving ahead, let's take a case of AI that has, gone way beyond what anybody expected. ChatGPT, the AI at scale, the most intelligent language processing and question answering system. Probably there was none. There is no better system in history than ChatGPT. It represents a magnitude of change. So far, before ChatGPT, people were thinking that AI is not all that useful. AI is not that all powerful. But today, if you see the machine learning techniques or AI have proven that it's fairly intelligent. Okay. Hey, like, for example, I'll just log in quickly and show you a couple of examples. Let me just close these windows and say chat.openai. Okay. So yeah, you can ask a question. Like, let me just pick a question. I'll just pick one question from YouTube comment. Okay. Is it compulsory to learn OpenCV for a data scientist? Learning OpenCV is not necessarily compulsory for all data scientists, but it can be a valuable skill depending on your specific task. Let me increase the font just to give you, right? Okay. Now I'll just say, explain as if I am explain it to 9-year-old. Okay. Now, this is powerful. Okay. Okay, let me pick some more questions. And let's see if this thing I can answer. How much Python is needed to learn AI using Python? To learn AI using Python, it's important to have a good understanding of Python programming language. Python is widely used in the field of AI because it has many libraries and tools specifically designed for AI and machine learning. For a beginner, it is recommended to for beginners, it's recommended to have a solid foundation in Python programming concepts such as variables, data types, control structures like if else and loops, functions and object-oriented programming, classes and object. There are building blocks that will help you understand and write AI code effectively. And so on, right? So you can see that it is pretty smart, and you can actually just ask it, things like, can you code this in Python? Okay. Print XYZ if input is 10, else, okay, otherwise print 30. Okay. Okay, so you can see it has done a good job. User input equals int this and this. Okay, so I want to just show you if we can, let's say, pick a question. Okay, here. Okay, let's see if I can. Okay, let me see. Okay, design a function with the name dict_func, that right? Okay. I'm just asking ChatGPT to code for me, solving the exercise. Okay, let's see. Does it run? Does it work? See, it just solved one problem statement from our exercises. Okay, I just copy pasted the question. Now you see, now that's the magic. Okay, so it's able to code, it's able to do lots of things. Now that's the power. That's the power. All of this learned from data. Okay, it learned just like our Mario bot, just like in our Mario bot, the program, the software learned from the data, right? Similarly, ChatGPT learned from the data. So I hope everybody got what ChatGPT is. Now, the great part is that you can access the ChatGPT. You can access the ChatGPT API using Python, right? You can code things up using Python. I'll just show you if you're interested. So you can say, try platform OpenAI. Okay. So if you go to OpenAI and log in, okay, let me log in using my, okay. Yeah, I'll just take a look at the API. Okay. So like, for example, various kinds of things you can do with Python also. Like you can do what ChatGPT was doing in the UI. You can do all kinds of things like that using your code. Like, for example, you want to summarize the entire book. So you can use ChatGPT for the same. Now you have text completion, and then you have something called embedding that we'll study in the class, and then speech to text, image generation, fine tuning. All of this can be done using the ChatGPT. You can just, you'll see that lots of code people have written already for you. You can just take a look at that and then start using it. So The important part is once you become comfortable in anything in Python, then the life is so easy for you. Okay. Like, for example, you want to build image generation, right? Like you want to generate image. Here is like Python code. You can just select Python code and there you go. Okay. So the important part is that in order to utilize all these AI and machine learning models, you would require, if you want to really utilize them for your task, you will require an understanding of a programming language. Okay. I hope this was useful to all. Let me move on to one very important aspect. Okay. In an organization, the way AI and ML works is that we gather data. For gathering data, we use various kinds of databases, data stores, which can store humongous data, right? Then we clean data. Cleaning data means removing certain fields, converting the data from text files into kind of Excel sheets or CSV files or tabular structure. And then we do the basic analysis. Basic analysis as in, right? Which of the rows are incomplete, which of the rows are useless. Let's clean that up and so on. And in basic analysis, you could also figure out like how many people have used our website in 10 days, how is it going, and so on. So that's basic analysis. Then you start utilizing ML algorithms, such as predict how much sale we will have tomorrow, and so on. Okay. Predict whether this person will buy or not. That's ML algorithm. So there is then you basically optimize them or make better, deeper algorithm using the AI and stuff. And then once you have done all of that, you move it to production. You create all this code and you build this model, and then you deploy it on your servers. Okay. So this is the entire cycle. The way you think of it is that this part here is generally termed as big data analysis. Actually, till here, okay, let me just clear some of the things. So here, some part is coming from IoT, right? Internet of Things, bringing data. This and Kafka queues and so on. This part here is big data analytics. This part here is machine learning. This part here is deep learning. This part here is DevOps. Okay. So you see that these things are utilized in an organization in end-to-end fashion. Okay. Now, so AI with Python. Okay. So what we have here is, right, there is a TensorFlow. There are, okay, I wanted to, give you a bit of more perspective. So we just showed you that with Python, you could command AI using OpenAI tools and other things. Similarly, there are so many other models that you can use right away using Python. I'll just give you a perspective that, let's say you are trying to figure out, given a photo of a person, where are the eyes, where is the nose, where is the knee, where is the shoulder. So you could use things like body ML. Okay. So no, this is model zoo. Okay, I'll just show you this. Okay. So here you see open pose. Okay. So open pose is able to give you the information about a photo of a human. It tells that here's the knee, here is the feet, here is the hand, here is the nose, and so on. And it's just amazing that all of this is accessible to you, and you can do all this magic only if you understand Python or a programming language like Python. Okay. So similarly, let's take a case here. All right. There is a, yeah, there is a, yeah. So like, for example, I want to show you another thing. All of these things are available to you right now, and you can do lots of magic over there. Okay, you will see it here. Okay. Oh, so you see that here, this library, this software is able to figure out who is there in this photo and how are they. So in like you could essentially build software that detect collision, that count things, they observe what's happening in a photo by using Python. So you can see that it's able to figure out that there's a person, there's a horse, but in case of eagle, it's not able to figure out because eagle is not there in the classes. You can see so many things it can identify in the video. Okay. All right. Now that's a thing. So all of this is available to you, and the entire world of AI is at your service. It's an open source, free. You don't have to pay for it. Anything. All you need to do is learn Python or any programming language for that matter. So the entire world, if you go to GitHub, you will find lots of open source projects. Okay, lots of open source projects, and you can, you know, just start figure out what's good for you. Let's say you want to do video processing using Python open source. Okay, so you can see there are lots and lots of libraries like MediaPipe, Anim4K, MoviePy, and so on. Okay, so I hope that helped you in figuring that out. Now, moving ahead, so AI with Python. Python provides very rich set of libraries and open source projects, which allows you to do the magic. Okay, here are some of the frameworks like TensorFlow, Keras, Scikit-learn, Pandas, MaxNet, PyTorch, Tianos, NumPy, Spark, and NLTK for the data science and AI and big data, right? So you have NumPy, which is numeric Python to make things faster, and there is Pandas. Okay, now Python for AI certification course, we are launching it so that while you are learning Python, you will learn to build things in AI. Now that solves two problems in a single shot. Okay, so the concepts you learn is by the way of applications in AI. Okay, and this is going to be an ILT, instructor-led program course. Okay, so it's going to be instructor-led course. An instructor would be teaching you online. You will do the hands-on. Instructor will give you lots of projects. You'll have to work with the instructor in order to learn. In case you get stuck, there's a team of engineers who will help you, unblock. Okay, so this is probably one of the most ambitious, or one of the more, it's going to be one of the most successful course on Python. And we believe that all those who have not started Python till now, it would be the best course for even a beginner, complete beginner. And those who have already studied Python, this course will serve as a stepping stone for them to become an AI engineer. Okay, so not only AI, we also cover data science projects. There will be some projects on web development. There will be some projects on game development and so on. So you learn by the way of projects. There'll be multiple projects, and you will have to work with the instructor. Okay, the most important part is, in order to learn something, you got to work hard. Okay, so this is one of the best course on the planet. I can guarantee that. We are going to put really, really good engineers who are from the industry to make you learn Python. Okay, and that too for AI. All right. So here are key highlights. 10 plus weeks of live instructor-led learning, 8 plus projects, 100 days of CloudxLab access, and 10 plus tools. Not 10 plus, it's going to be more than that. Yeah, it'll be more than like 80 plus tools you will learn as part of these projects, because each project will consist of different component, different tools, and you will learn a lot. Okay, lifetime access to course material, doubt clearing all the weekdays. So we are going to run it every weekend, and this would open your doors to every vertical. This will open your doors to every vertical, because every vertical as of today has become software engineering or coding. Okay, that's coding is no longer a specialized job. Coding is everybody's job. Okay, so I'm giving you the link. You can block. Okay, I'm giving you the link. I've put it on the chat. All right, great. Basically, we will have various kinds of tools that are needed in industry. Those will be covered. And like, for example, Git is needed a lot. SQL will be needed a lot. So we will teach you these two as a complementary, and Linux will be needed. So these tools, like we will start with Linux, we will learn Git, then we will do SQL. SQL we'll learn later. Of course, we'll be coding mostly in Jupyter, and this is the primary thing. These things are tiny, and these are used for analytics. This is also used for analytics and BI. This is used for machine learning. This is for deep learning. This is for visualization, and this is for AI. And this is for web development. Okay, so basically, these are the various kinds of tools that we will be learning while we are learning Python, right? The mentors in this course are people who are from industry, like myself and Praveen, who also is like me, who is also founder of of an AI company. Then we have Sandeep Akode, who is our chief engineer at CloudxLab, IIT Kanpur, and Sachin, who is also software engineer, senior software engineer from Delhi College. And then we have Shubh, who is also a very good machine learning engineer in this. So these are the initial instructors. There will be more instructors. There will be more visiting faculties, and we will have a lot of support from my mentors and faculty. So we will have many people from across industry. Okay, moving on. So I've missed Gajendra. Gajendra is also one of the engineers at CloudxLab, and we will have more people from the top companies who will be the instructor. Now, the placement assistant by CloudxLab, the placement eligibility test, we have around 300 plus recruitment partners who will help you get a job. Because what we are noticing, since we have been around in this industry for more than 10 years, not 10 years, around 9 years, now what we are observing that in this industry, in this education industry, what's happening is many people, they are struggling with the advanced concepts because they did not master the fundamental programming language. And the moment they mastered the basic, like one programming language, they're able to sail through almost everything. So that's why we are going full on with respect to learning Python. Okay, so right now you can block your seat at just 999 rupees, and you can do it right away. Okay, all right. I will, in the meantime, take questions. Okay, so our question is, do you need GPU for ML, or you can do with the CPU, do enterprise use only CPU or GPU? A number of things, 99% of the things can be done using CPU. Okay, there are some cases if you are training really high-end model, GPU helps, but very few people in industry do that. ML helps to predict problems more easily and effectively. That's right. What is the area of expert system? Expert systems are rule-based systems where a human used to write rules and they used to get executed. Is AI dangerous? If it is used, all these things used for harmful use cases, it could be dangerous, right? On one end, the fire can be used to cook food. On the other, fire can be used to burn down everything. So yeah, it can be dangerous. If you build robots and it kills people, it could be dangerous. Therefore, you know, if AI turns dangerous, to protect against it, we will need more AI literate people, and therefore it's all the more reasons for learning. Okay, so basically, now next question is Python important for AI, ML, and data science? Absolutely, there is no doubt about it. We can integrate with Google Bard into Python, of course. Google Bard will be providing the first set of API. We call it application programming interface in Python. So you will be able to control Google Bard with Python. I'm not sure. I think it would already be doing that. How to get certification of CloudxLab? Certificate of CloudxLab, you can just fill the form. Okay. The screen is not visible. Okay. All right. Next question is, can you please divide the time of learning and asking questions, which is not related to topic? Yeah, that we did already. Thank you for letting us know. When we get certificate, okay, we'll get the certificate. Okay. All right. Now, thank you so much, everyone. Please come over to CloudxLab. You can basically start learning right now. And I'm looking forward to see you in my Python for AI course. And it is going to make you a different person. I can guarantee that. All right. We are just on time. It is 10 o'clock and we are done. Thank you, everyone. I'm looking forward to see you.
Yeah, so Sandeep, I would like to add here like, regarding the course. Basically, most of the people like who are starting with Python, right? So they want to know, like, as you can see, like in the webinar, also many people are asking, like, what's the difference between Python and R, Python versus R, and things like how Python can be helpful. So on the course page, like when you will click on the link and go to the course page, so you'll see that we are providing free counseling for all the people, right? So they can talk to us, like anyone from the team, like either me, Shub, or from many people from the team also. So like just about the certification, this one. So just below the course overview, scroll down a bit, just below the course overview.
Below the course overview.
Below course overview. Yeah, scroll down. Yeah, here in the program highlight section, you can see that you can book the counseling with us. So
Okay.
you'll be able to know much better about the scope of Python and learning all of these things, right? So I would say, like, even if you are confused about anything, or you want more questions around the courses, or in general, like even if it is not related to course, even if you want to ask something related to Python and everything, you can fill up this form and we can help you decide these things, right? So
Okay.
that's it.
Anything else you want me to focus on?
No, this is
okay. Great. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. I'm looking forward to see you. Thank you. And I'm really happy that almost like 100 people have stayed till the end in the class. Almost everybody stayed till the end in the class. And thank you so much for the love.